To all my black entrepreneurs, we gotta do better, y'all. So tune in to the EntrepreNUBIANS Podcast, where we help build better black businesses.
And I'm super excited because this is something different. This is something completely out of our wheelhouse. We met you guys, but we didn't meet you. We met Philip at the Melanin Market. And I was like, oh, we got to be on the podcast. Yeah. So I'm going to step back and let you guys introduce yourselves and what Ancestry Lands is, because this is an awesome concept.
It's very different.
Yeah,
very different. Our audience has never heard anything like this unless they've
heard of you guys before.
Right, exactly. Tell us, please. First, tell us who you are, and then tell us all about Ancestry Lands.
Got it.
All right, so I'm Eric Kennedy. I'm currently the posting manager for Ancestry Lands and de facto kind of like IT guy with my background. And then,
yeah, I'm Philip Davis. I'm the owner and founder of Ancestry Lands. I've been doing Ancestry Lands for about maybe 4 years now. So originally, I was up in Northern California for a while as a nurse. I've been a nurse for 20 years, and we had the big fires that happened that caused us to evacuate, and a lot of homes were burned down. So just really quick and short, I saw that the value of the land was selling, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and people were rebuilding. Traveling through the U.S. on an RV with my wife and 2 kids, we saw these signs for land for sale, and I said, this is something that is really interesting, and eventually humans will populate enough and reach out into all these areas and land. Historically, my grandfather back in the early mid 1900s, he had actually, in the South Virginia where I'm originally from, he actually built his house on a 1/4-acre lot from the ground up that I actually grew up in as a child. This is a black Southern man from North Carolina that bought a piece of property, did not have a high school education, and that house still stands today. That I, as a baby, was breastfeeding in it myself, and that was a legacy factor. Fast forward to my father, who has now built his 4th house on a plot of land in a development and down in Florida, which I went down there and I see all this development happening now. There's such a big demand in land, and I thought it was something that definitely can create a legacy. So that's how Ancestry Lands was pretty much started. The idea of ancestry, us being the ancestors that we are connected to, we pass that land down and create a legacy through ownership. And that's Ancestry Lands. Yeah, big time.
Clap for that.
Absolutely.
That's something to clap for, because number one, I just want to thank you for creating Ancestry Lands. It's very necessary for our people, and it's just very necessary for us to understand the value of land, not just the financial value of land, but the historical value of the land, as far as our culture, and just a bridge between generations. That's what houses do. They bridge generations. The same way, like you say, you grew up in a house. Your parents raised you in that house, or somebody raised you in that same house that you grew up in. So they might have been they might have had a different experience with that house than you, but it's still a part of everybody's growing. And it just connects generations. It really does. So I just want to thank you for creating something like that to help people understand there's different ways there's different values to property and land, and we got to understand that.
Absolutely. One of the bigger things that I experience is that, as far as African Americans, we've always been landowners. And when we got pushed to the big major cities to go there for jobs, what we left behind was the land ownership. We lost that disconnect. And that was something that throughout time, we didn't take value of, was that ownership. So now we're ownership in voting blocks, but the real power is in the land, because real estate is, throughout history and every culture, it's always been valued on what you own as land. And any apartment, any dwelling, building, even this building here, is built on land. And it doesn't, you see this place may change, buildings come up, buildings come down, but the value of the land stays the same. It actually grows more in time. So who owns the building is the person who owns the land.
I'm thinking, as you were speaking, I'm like, well, we own our house, but we don't own the land our house is on. Right. If something was to happen, they can snatch our house because whoever owns the land can decide to do whatever they want to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy feeling to have right now.
I'll just to add to that too. So a lot of things what people don't realize is like when you even look at the McDonald's Corporation, right? McDonald's Corporation, yeah, they sell hamburgers, they got this, but they're one of the largest landholders in the fish in the history.
Yes.
That documentary was crazy. Watching that, I was like, wait, because McDonald's is all about real estate. It's not about French fries and hamburgers. It's about real estate. And I was like, whoa. That was different.
Yeah.
And to even add to that, when you're talking about real estate value, you look at a company like Starbucks, right? Starbucks, whenever you see a Starbucks, that land value goes up when somebody plops a Starbucks down somewhere.
Oh my God.
So as far as a valuation tool, Starbucks is itself, it sells itself as, hey, when we come into a land, we're going to increase the value of a property.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing.
Isn't that's crazy?
And we see that going on here.
I don't see too many places that have the effect that Starbucks has.
Well,
just to announce they're coming to a neighborhood. McDonald's doesn't do that.
No.
As a matter of fact, McDonald's might do the very opposite.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Because I know Chestnut Hill, when they were trying to put the McDonald's on Germantown Avenue, the people at Chestnut Hill were like, "Oh no, you're not putting no McDonald's up here."
It was there for a while,
it's gonna
and that was
bring
going.
the riffraff up here.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. I know, like looking at the real estate, like we used to talk about real estate all the time. We found out that anytime you see a large development of big box stores popping up in areas, they're about to build some houses around here because the big box store owners get the info before we get the info saying, hey, this area right here is going to start being populated, so we're going to build some houses over here. So, we need to get some land.
Oh, yeah.
That's my question. How do we get land from Ancestry Lands? How do we do this?
So my wife and I actually were the owners of all the properties that we sell. One of the differentiations that I've done with the business is that you have people like realtors or other land investors that they only sell property. They may take me as an owner and then sell it on behalf of me as a middleman. My Ancestry Lands is about ownership, passing on ownership. I put my money where my mouth is. I have invested in an item that I believe in, that I know is sellable, and it's a product that I intend to hold or pass on. So what we're doing is offering the properties that we sell in right outside of LA area because that area is growing. The pandemic pushed people out of LA and all the surrounding areas, but they still want access to LA. So you have this migration coming up through the South where millions of people are moving to, and that puts us, the community, if we can take hold of that ownership, as people who can make money and build capital and build wealth off of the people who want to come and move to these areas. So I always think of it's like being a crocodile. Crocodiles put themselves right where the migration comes through to get the biggest amount of food. Well, think the food is money, and we're the crocodiles. We need to put ourselves in positions to be able to acquire wealth. Now, you take that out to a greater community. If all of us here own multiple properties in one location, and we have economic issues that we need through in a pandemic, well, we all control the volume of what's being sold. You don't want to sell your property at $30,000. We all set it at $30,000. We have those night meetings at the barbershop, and we say as a community, as a group, as African Americans or any group at minority base, we can say we're going to set our market price, and now we control the market now. So when you're looking at dealing with politicians and you want things done for the community, they're looking at us as people who have power to control factors that they listen to. You don't want to sell ice and in a snowstorm. You want to be able to sell something that people that can grab their attention, and that's going to give us real power. Right. So we don't do credit checks. We don't do interest charges. We keep it very simple because the business is built off creating owners, not off of putting you on long 10-year loans. Our properties are less than a Benz, but they're more valuable than that in the fact that you can farm, commercial, do agricultural things, and these are in residential areas with McDonald's, post office, and it's in an actual city. And Mike Tyson has invested in 40 acres in that same city to do his business ventures out there. Wow. So, and Eric himself is a property owner. He's bought into that so he can have a multifamily unit to have doors that he owns in a unit. And that's the best part about it, is that you're doing $250 payments, $1,000 down. It's a contract that's signed, and I'm passing over ownership to people. I'm the owner passing over my ownership. The title is being passed down. You're handing a baton. You're actually showing your results and showing that work. And that's what our community needs. We don't need handouts and government checks. We need power. We need ownership.
Facts.
And if you don't own property, you're going to be owned as property. You know, and that's one of the.
That's a quotable.
That's gonna be the title of this episode. Just to let you know, right, that right there.
Right.
We are here with the one and only Bakr in the Bakr Brand.
What's up? What's up with y'all?
And first of all, I gotta say these glasses though.
Yeah.
These
Yeah, they
glasses
dope.
though. Yeah.
They dope.
They specifically
little
for the
hypnotic.
podcast.
They're a little hypnotic vibe to
Right,
them.
exactly.
Yeah. I see
you
something
see
on the
our
lens
pictures
is messing with my eyes.
Yeah.
This joint's dope, bro.
Yeah, I like
Appreciate
that.
it. It's like a mirror so you can
You
see
sell
yourself.
them? You sell them?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
No, I just got these off from somebody who was selling shades. You know?
Okay.
Okay.
Were they black? They were black,
They were
right?
black, yeah.
All right.
My
I
man.
definitely try to support all black business.
Yes,
Right.
that's what I'm
can.
talking about.
There you
know?
go.
Only
talk to
black
us.
excellence, though.
Oh, exactly.
Brands that
Of
support,
course.
that practice black excellence.
There you go.
Of course.
There
I
you go.
support that. But
So tell us about the Bakr Brand.
Bakr Brand. You know,
Bakr Brand, I'm sorry.
That's my last name. You know, so I took the name from the back of my jersey, put it on the front of a suit, basically. Bakr Brand is a brand that just brand brands. You know, we help
Okay.
build brands. You know, we promote brands. We're a platform for brands to expand on. You know, and I just like basically. So like entrepreneurs, I just want to tell the word about, you know what I mean, you guys. I want to tell the word about the next brand and the next brand and the next brand. When I first met Sir, I told him that I wanted to help 100 brands like any way I can. So I think that was like maybe 2 years ago. So we probably had like 300 brands that we connected with
Right
you
now.
know, in the span of 3 years. So
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people don't understand what building a successful brand consists of. And it's a lot of dedicated hard work because you building something from nothing.
Right.
You turning a name that nobody has heard of into a name that everybody knows. That's the goal when you're building a brand.
That is
And it's not easy to do.
No.
No, it's not for the weak, and I don't think everybody should be a brand. Like when you become like a boss, like you actually appreciate workers. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like everybody can't be in these seats that that we're in.
Everybody can't
You
be a
know,
boss,
So
right.
when you know that, you kind of appreciate the worker even more. You don't
Yeah.
really like. Condemn a worker like, oh, since you're not a boss, you not. Nah, that's just what they are. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's no knock on them.
There's no knock on them,
Right.
you know, because it takes a certain person to sit in these seats, and if you're not that person, then you're not going to have a successful brand, like you were saying. You can't pick this up one day and put it down, and then expect somebody to keep following you. Like, how do you build a fan base if you're not consistent?
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the principles I stand on. Like, yeah, I'm only gonna get one like on my post, but it's the fact that I'm training myself to post every day.
Yeah.
Every
Right.
day.
Yeah.
It's on me. One thing you're gonna know, you go to Bakr Brand page, you're gonna see exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly what I'm doing.
Consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the major thing.
We
I think
talk about
people
that so much on the show,
because
so.
that's always the key word. Consistency is the key word no matter what you do. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work.
Consistency is the most inconsistent thing that people do.
Yeah. How about
Right?
that?
I
Yeah.
like that. You a rapper?
But I mean, me included. You know what I mean? Like a lot of places where I failed was just where I stopped being consistent, not where I really failed. I just tapped out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you get one like on a picture and you get pissed.
Yeah.
Like you spend all this time putting together this reel, like oh this reel's gonna be shit, and then you get one view. Okay.
yeah, and I'll be upset.
Yeah, he feels the type of way.
Really, y'all?
Like,
Really?
Uh-huh.
Y'all gonna scroll past and not like my video, my picture, my something? Because when I'm on social media, I try to like and everything that I want people to do for me, I try to do for people.
But it's crazy when it doesn't get returned.
Yeah.
Right.
Like how does that make you feel when it
Yeah.
don't get returned?
He be upset.
It just helps me understand that I gotta just ignore
Yeah.
what I'm not getting and continue to be consistent.
Yeah.
Blessings. Amen.
Because whoever's not like it is not your tribe.
Right.
That's it. Because whatever you're doing is not going to be for everybody.
Right.
And that's as soon as you figure that out, understand that, you'll be cool.
And honestly, talking about that, when you're doing something very positive in a negative world,
Oh yeah.
we're kind of the minority now anyway. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not going to get massive. In my opinion, it can be. It can one day be that, but we know that we're taking a slow grind. You guys promoting businesses, positivity, and you know everybody want to see people twerking and negativity, people shooting,
doing crate challenges and all that stupid stuff.
If you post that, you know you're getting 1,000 likes.
Yep.
But when you sit down, let's talk about brand. Gotta go to lunch.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And we are here with Mr. Brandon Sykes of Black is Wealth.
Yes,
Brandon?
ma'am. How you doing?
Good,
man. Glad you came to see us, man.
Yeah.
We met you at
It was a melanin market. It was called a melanin market in Jersey.
Melanin Market.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was a Black Expo for Black business.
That was a big event. I'm glad I did that one.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did too. We wouldn't be sitting here.
Exactly. Yeah, we had no idea what was going on. Like we walked up to you, you started explaining what your mission statement was. We're like, oh, you need to be on the podcast. You need to be on the podcast.
Right?
Yeah.
Very forward, very driven.
Yes.
And very focused.
Yep. I got to be like that, man. In order for me to really achieve what I want to achieve, I have to be like that. I just can't just be a slouch. I got to get it done.
Y'all hear that? No slouching.
Take notes.
Yes.
So how did you get into the Melanin Market Expo? How did you find out about it? I'm sorry.
I think someone sent it to me.
Okay.
And I've tried to do as many pop-up shops as I can, but I want to do big ones. I don't want to do, I do a lot of small ones, but like the most impact come from the big ones because I get to talk to more people.
Facts.
And the small ones, you see the same people, over and over again as you go along at every small event that you go to. So when the Melanin Market, when somebody sent that to me and I saw like how serious they took it and how big it was going to be, I'm like, yeah, I got to do this one.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Black businesses there. It was good to see.
Yeah,
I'm mad that we left early.
I know.
Because we missed Suzanne Christine perform.
Yeah. She was just here last week.
Yeah, we interviewed her last week. We missed a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things that went on that her and I left early, so we missed out on it.
Yeah, because we didn't find out about it until I think the day before. And we have this monthly Pekino game with my mom and my aunts and his mother and him and I. And we cannot miss this Pekino game because I tend to win the big pot, so we have to go. So we had to leave early, but we wanted to make sure we actually got there. So we were there when it opened.
Okay,
we were there for like an hour and a half maybe, but we missed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of successful people there and potential successful people. I like going into environments like that because you get to feed off everyone's energy.
Yes.
And I was right by the food, so I really,
perfect spot. Perfect spot.
All the traffic was coming in.
Yes.
All the traffic was coming there, so I had to stay there, and I had to really be. I don't like being behind the table and just sitting there. No one is really gonna. You got to be approachable.
You do.
No one is gonna approach you if you're just sitting behind the table. So
True.
And I learned that from Nick and Marlon. They own Word and Vision. They say if you're going to do a podcast, I always do them. I mean, not a podcast, pop up. I always do them by myself. Right. So I have to, I have to be out there and I have to like talk to people because that's the only way people are going to get attracted to the table.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. So let us know what is Black is Wealth? What is it?
All right. So it just means use what you have in you. So our mission is to inspire and empower the culture to realize that we have wealth in us, and use our inner wealth, we can achieve any other kind of wealth that we want. So it's not really about money. It's about using your strength, resilience, and brilliance to achieve any other kind of wealth that you want, essentially. Because I didn't come from much, but I know that I'm going to be wealthy. I know I'm wealthy already. So I want our culture to really use what we have in us to achieve all the wealth that we want. Mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, all the wealth. You can't just be wealthy in one aspect of your life. You got to be wealthy in everything. And from our culture, we are here because our ancestors was wealthy internally. Like we didn't have much. We were slaves, but we fought and we still here. So there's no reason why we shouldn't like look at ourselves as wealth like internally already.
I love it. I love it. Yeah,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, our ancestors had to have some type of wealth in them because they didn't have it on the outside.
Yeah.
They had nothing. They had everything taken away from them but food and shelter.
And they were barely given that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they had to not only fight with their masters, they fought with themselves, and they fought the whole everything that was against them.
Yep.
You have to have some type of wealth inside of you
Yep.
to endure so much.
Yep.
Well, I mean, honestly, we were taken from our homeland because we had a wealth of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
We knew how to work that raw land.
Right.
That's why they came and got us.
Yep.
Because they saw what we were doing.
Yep.
Like, so we've been wealthy.
Yeah. So I really want to change that in the culture, because I mean, all the violence and everything going on is because we don't value our lives. So I'm just doing my little part just to get. If I get one person to value their life, I did my job, because I know that person is going to affect someone else, and it's just going to be a domino effect. So I just try to affect one person at a time, man. Change one person's mindset at a time, and I think I can do that. I think I can really do it.
I think you can too,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Because these kids, man, it's almost like they think they can respawn back from death.
Yeah.
Like they kill each other as if they're playing a video game or something, and they feel like, oh, he's got 100 lives, he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
No, this is it. You just
Yeah.
ended this person's life for what? Over a girl or
Yeah.
over an argument
Disrespect.
or disrespect?
Yeah.
It's
black
crazy
people.
because we kill ourselves like more than any other race. Like,
Yes. And get
Anything.
mad when anybody else makes any kind of threat or says something wrong or disrespects us.
Yeah. So
When we are extremely disrespectful to each other
Yep.
more than anybody,
Yep.
and we're the least tolerant of disrespect.
Yeah, so I'm really trying to change that, because I look at y'all like both the same. Like, I love y'all. I don't know y'all. I met y'all once, but like y'all, I know y'all have something in y'all that's really going to push y'all to be successful. And I want every black person to look at another black person like that. So that's why I say black is wealth. Like, you're looking at wealth when you look at us.
Right.